This channel is not designed for entertainment or viral content. It exists for people who are actively healing, seeking clarity, or exploring the psychology behind their emotions and patterns. Every episode is carefully written and produced with emotional depth, reflection, and care. If you're here expecting casual commentary, high-energy hosts, or non-AI content, as you think we are, then we gently refer you to creators like Healthy Gamer Gigi, who offer human-run channels with content such as How to Get a Girlfriend or What to Do When the World is Falling Apart with 2.92 million subscribers. Our work is different. It's quiet, deep, and intentionally crafted to support those on a real mental health journey. If that's you, then welcome to our channel. You're in the right place.
Okay, let's dive in. Welcome, everyone. Today we're exploring something really practical. Psychology-based tools you can actually use for your mental health and emotional well-being day to day.
That's right. We've been looking at this fantastic guide, really, that lays out 10 very accessible techniques, things to help regulate emotions, reset your focus, find some calm when things feel stressful or anxious.
Yeah, difficult days happen, right?
Well,
So our mission today is to unpack these 10, let's call them psychology hacks. We want to understand what they are, obviously how to do them, but crucially, why they work. What's going on inside.
The goal is really for you listening to maybe find one or two strategies that really resonate, that feel doable for you.
And I think it's important to mention the guide's perspective here. It's described as trauma-informed, science-informed. It really emphasizes gentle, accessible actions.
Absolutely. It's not about thinking you're broken or need fixing. It's more about tapping into this capacity we all have for self-care, for connection, for finding calm. These tools just help you access that.
That framing feels so much more supportive, doesn't it? That we're working with something already there. Okay, so let's get into the hacks. The first group really focuses on the body, the nervous system.
Yes, because mental health isn't just thoughts, is it? It's deeply physical. Stress, anxiety, you feel it in your body.
Totally. Your body often knows first.
Right. So these first tools work with that physical experience rather than trying to just, think your way out of it.
Okay, first up is hack 1. Box breathing. Sounds simple, maybe familiar, but the guide notes it's used by people in really high-stress situations. Navy SEALs, for instance.
Yeah, and therapists, lots of people managing daily pressures too. Its simplicity is actually, key. Box breathing or square breathing sometimes. It's a specific rhythm.
Okay, how does it work?
You imagine a box. You breathe in slowly for a count, say 4. Then you hold your breath for that same count, 4. Then breathe out slowly, again for 4. And then hold the breath out for 4.
In 4, hold 4, out 4, hold 4.
Exactly. And you just repeat that cycle maybe 4 or 5 times. The count of 4 is just a starting point. You can adjust it.
So what's the magic in that rhythm? Why not just any deep breath?
The structure. It's controlled. When you're stressed, your sympathetic nervous system, that's your fight or flight, kicks in. Your breathing gets shallow, fast.
Heart races.
Right. Box breathing forces a slow, deep, symmetrical pattern. That sends a direct signal to your brain to activate the parasympathetic nervous system.
The rest and digest one, the calming one.
Precisely. You're basically triggering a physiological switch away from stress. Heart rate slows, muscles relax. It interrupts that anxiety feedback loop. Plus, focusing on the count gives your racing mind an anchor.
So grounds you physically and mentally.
Yeah. It's portable, instant. A quick way to shift your state.
That's really powerful for such a simple action. Okay, sticking with the body focus, hack 3 is hand on heart and belly. This feels different, gentler.
It is. It moves from that controlled breath to gentle somatic connection. It's about grounding through touch. You just find a comfortable spot, maybe sitting, maybe lying down.
Okay.
And you place one hand on your chest, over your heart maybe, and the other hand low on your belly. Then just breathe naturally, softly, and just feel your body rising and falling under your hands.
No specific breathing pattern this time.
No, just noticing the natural breath. The focus is on the feeling of touch and connection.
And why does that help? What's happening there?
Well, this kind of gentle self-touch, especially on the chest and belly, it actually stimulates oxytocin release.
The bonding hormone.
Yeah, but it also promotes feelings of safety and calm. It helps dial down the stress response. So if you're feeling anxious, maybe a bit disconnected or dissociated even, this gives you a really tangible anchor.
Right, like a physical, you are here, you are safe message to your nervous system.
Exactly. It's a very direct act of self-compassion.
That makes sense. Before we move on, if you're finding these kinds of practical tools helpful, do consider subscribing to the channel. We dive deep into topics like this regularly. And, leave a comment if one of these really clicks for you.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what resonates.
Hmm.
Okay, so next up, building on releasing physical tension. Hack 5, shake it off. And this one's pretty literal.
Like actually shaking.
Very literally, think about animals. A dog shakes after being startled, right? It's a natural way the body discharges that sudden burst of stress energy, those hormones like adrenaline.
And we humans, we tend to hold it in.
We often do. We suppress it. So this hack is about giving yourself permission to do that natural discharge.
Yeah.
You just stand up and start shaking, arms, legs, shoulders, maybe bounce a little.
For how long?
Maybe just 30 seconds or so, gently at first, maybe more vigorously if it feels right. And the guide even suggests letting out sound, a sigh, a hum, maybe even a laugh. Sound helps release too.
It sounds potentially awkward, but also freeing.
It can be. Internally, what's happening is you're helping your body complete that stress cycle. That fight or flight energy needs to go somewhere. Shaking helps physically discharge it. It tells your nervous system, okay, the threat's passed, you can calm down now.
Completing the cycle. I like that. Okay, the last one in this body-focused group is Hack 7, body scan. This is a classic mindfulness technique.
It is, and really effective. It's about bringing awareness fully into your body, moment by moment. Great for when your mind is just buzzing or you feel overwhelmed.
How do you do it?
Find a comfortable position, close your eyes if that feels okay for you. Then you just slowly bring your attention to different parts of your body, starting with your feet.
Just noticing sensations.
Exactly. Warmth, coolness, tingling, pressure, whatever's there, without judgment. Then slowly move up ankles, calves, knees, thighs, hips, torso, arms, hands, neck, face. Maybe spend 10-15 seconds on each area. Just gentle, curious attention.
And how does that help with stress or overwhelm?
Well, when we're stressed, our mind is usually off worrying about the future or replaying the past.
Right.
Definitely.
A body scan pulls your attention right back to your direct physical experience now. It anchors you in the present. You shift focus from the mental noise to the physical reality. That interruption, that grounding, can create space and calm. It helps you feel in your body, not just lost in thoughts.
Right. So those first 4 really show how much our physical state impacts our mental state. Now, the next group of hacks shifts focus a bit more towards emotions and our inner dialogue.
Exactly. Moving more into the cognitive and emotional side, but still building on that sense of presence we just talked about.
Okay, hack 2 is name the emotion. The guide calls this affect labeling.
Yes. Affect labeling is just that putting a name to the feeling you're experiencing. When you feel that rush of something, intense anger, sadness, fear, whatever the idea is, to pause, breathe, and just say to yourself, okay, this is anxiety, or I'm feeling frustrated right now.
It sounds almost too simple. How does just naming it help? But the neuroscience is cool here. Brain scans show that when you label an emotion, it actually activates parts of your prefrontal cortex, your thinking brain. And that helps to dampen down the activity in the amygdala.
The amygdala, that's the brain's alarm center, right? The emotional reaction part.
Precisely. So by using your thinking brain to simply name the feeling, you're effectively turning down the volume on the emotional alarm. You acknowledge the feeling, okay, fear is here, but you create a little space. You're not just the fear.
So it stops you from getting totally swept away by it.
Exactly. That little bit of distance makes a big difference. It shifts perspective from I am angry to I am feeling anger. Huge difference.
That really clarifies why it works.
Ah.
Okay, hack 4 tackled something so many of us deal with, that inner critic. The suggestion is to reframe it as the voice of a guardian.
Yes, this is a really powerful mindset shift. That inner critic can be so harsh, right? Saying things we'd never say to a friend.
Oh, definitely.
So this hack is about consciously cultivating a different inner voice. One that's supportive, kind, wise, like a loving guardian would be, the practice is.
Yeah.
When you hear that critical voice pop up, pause, notice it. Then ask yourself, what would a truly kind and wise guardian say to me right now?
And then you actually say that to yourself.
Yeah, you can say it silently, whisper it, or even write it down. It needs to feel genuine, though. So instead of, ugh, you messed up again, the guardian voice might say, okay, that didn't go as planned. What can we learn? You're doing your best. Or instead of, you should be doing more, it might be, it's okay to be tired. Rest is important, too.
And shifting from that shame-based criticism to compassion. What does that do for us?
Well, think about how shame feels. It often makes you want to hide, shut down. It's a nervous system freeze response, really. Compassion does the opposite. It signals safety, connection. By actively offering yourself that kindness, you're literally rewiring your brain. strengthening pathways for self-soothing, self-trust, building an internal sense of safety.
Learning to be your own support system.
Pretty much. It's huge for resilience.
That connects really well to the next one. Hack 6. Connect with your inner child. This sounds maybe a bit more abstract.
It can sound that way, but it's very practical, especially from a trauma-informed perspective. The idea is that parts of us, particularly from our younger years, might still carry unmet emotional needs. Fears, loneliness, feeling unseen.
Right. Things from the past that still affect us.
Exactly. The inner child is like a metaphor for those vulnerable emotional parts. This hack is about checking in with that part.
How do you do that practically?
The guide suggests picturing yourself as a child, maybe at a specific age, maybe just a general sense. Imagine that child self. Then gently ask them, maybe in your mind, what do you need from me right now? And then listen.
And what kinds of answers might come up?
It could be anything, really. Simple things. I need reassurance. I need to play. I need you to tell me it's okay. I need rest. I need a hug.
And the key is then trying to give that need to yourself as an adult.
Yes, that's the crucial step. Acknowledge the need, and then see how you, as your capable adult self, can offer that. If it's rest, can you take 10 minutes? If it's comfort, maybe the hand-on-heart technique. If it's reassurance, use that guardian voice.
So it links back.
It does. You're addressing those old unmet needs directly. It helps dissolve patterns like people-pleasing or self-neglect because you're learning to provide that consistent care for yourself. You become the safe harbor for that younger part.
These mindset shifts are really deep. The final group of hacks moves more into action, practical things you can do in the world, especially around protecting yourself.
Right, taking that internal awareness and applying it externally, how you interact with your environment, your relationships.
Hack 8 is set one gentle boundary. I love how the guide frames this not as a wall, but as a bridge to self-respect.
That's such a helpful way to think about it, isn't it? Boundaries aren't about pushing people away aggressively. They're about protecting your energy, your well-being. And without them, we get drained, resentful. Our nervous system stays on edge.
Totally. So the hack is just one boundary.
Just one. Makes it feel achievable. Find one small area where you feel stretched thin, or maybe you're dreading something. A text you need to reply to, a favor you can't really manage right now, needing some quiet time.
Okay. And then
you communicate that need or limit, gently but directly. The guide gives a great example. Maybe someone asks for help and you say, hey, I need a bit of space today. Can we talk tomorrow instead?
that sounds reasonable, not harsh at all.
Yeah.
How does setting even a small boundary help mentally?
It's an act of agency. You're honoring your capacity. That tells your nervous system you're safe enough to prioritize yourself. It reduces that feeling of being overwhelmed or obligated, which is inherently calming. And importantly, it builds self-trust. Every time you set a needed boundary, you prove to yourself that you value your own well-being.
That self-trust piece feels really key. Okay, building on directing energy, hack 9 is do one thing with full attention, like a focus reset.
Exactly. We live in such a multitasking world, our attention gets so fragmented. This is the antidote. Choose one simple, everyday task.
Like what?
Making tea, brushing your hair, washing one dish, folding one towel. Something really simple. The trick isn't the task, it's how you do it. Slowly, with full attention, engaging your senses.
So noticing the water temperature, the smell of the tea, the texture of the towel.
Yes. Notice the colors, the sounds, the feeling of movement. Breathe while you do it. Let your mind just rest on that one thing.
Why is that helpful when you feel scattered?
Because multitasking keeps your brain buzzing, juggling different things. Focusing fully on one simple thing trains your brain to concentrate. It slows down that mental chatter. It anchors you in the present moment through your senses. It's calming, restorative, a little microdose of mindfulness that cuts through the noise.
A portable antidote to fragmentation. I like that.
Mhm.
Okay, the final hack. Hack 10 feels like it wraps everything up beautifully. It's a question to ask yourself. What's one small thing I can do to feel safer right now?
This is such a powerful question. It shifts you immediately from feeling overwhelmed or stuck to actively looking for ways to care for yourself in that very moment.
How do you use it?
When you notice you're feeling anxious, unsafe, activated, just pause, take a breath, check in with yourself, and then ask that question. What's one small thing I can do right now to feel even a little bit safer?
And the answer could be anything.
Anything that feels right for you in that moment. It's total personal. Maybe it's turning off notifications for 10 minutes, wrapping up in a blanket, getting a glass of water, listening to a calming song, stretching, shifting how you're sitting. It has to be small, accessible right now.
And asking the question is powerful in itself.
Absolutely. It's an act of turning towards yourself with care. It interrupts helplessness. It says, okay, I feel bad, but what can I do? Finding that one small thing and doing it reinforces that you can influence how you feel, that you can provide safety for yourself. It builds that crucial self-trust moment by moment.
Wow. So across these 10 hacks, breath, body, thought, action, the message seems to be less about fixing flaws and more about remembering and using the tools we already have.
Exactly that. Remembering you have this innate capacity for regulation, connection, calm. These hacks are just ways to consciously access that capacity, especially when things are tough. It's not about achieving perfection or never feeling bad.
No, it's about those small, maybe even tiny, courageous choices. Permission to pause, to feel, to take care, to say no gently. Progress, like you said, not perfection.
And like the guide really stresses, you're not broken, you're just human, figuring things out in a world that doesn't always teach these skills. So the invitation is just to start where you are. Don't feel like you need to master all 10. Just pick one.
Just one that maybe sparked something for you today. That feels like the perfect place to land. The guide actually ends with this really lovely thought.
It says, start with one, breathe into it, and remember, you're not alone in this.
Start with one. Breathe into it. Remember, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive today, exploring these really practical ways to support your well-being.